Hey guys, Mona here. So today I'm going to be talking to you about a topic that has come up a lot in my years as a coach and an athlete, and that is the most important lesson that you have learned as either an athlete or a coach. Before we continue, I'd like to know in the comments below what has been the most important lesson that you have learned as either a coach or an athlete, and it can be in Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, whatever sport that you do. I just love to hear in the comments below what has been the most valuable lesson you have learned. The most important lesson that I have learned as an athlete is take your recovery seriously. I cannot hammer on this topic more because it's just so important. I mean, how many times have you as an athlete, okay, I don't need recovery, or I don't need a massage, or I don't need to, take rest days, and you realize this when it's too late, when you get injured. I had this conversation the other day with another weightlifting coach, and one of their athletes weren't recovering as he would hope, and he was saying to me he can't understand because the program isn't that heavy, they haven't even reached 80% yet, but the athlete just is not recovering. The first thing that I recommended is just to find out if the athlete is getting in enough food, if the athlete is getting in enough sleep, and if there's maybe other stresses in the athlete's life that could be hampering his performance or his recovery. These are all things that are super important, especially as a remote coach, because so many times, these are things that are out of your control. You don't often see what the athlete does. And even as an in-person weightlifting coach, you can't see what the athlete does outside of their weightlifting sessions. So it's just so important to have really good communication with your athletes and to just talk about, how are, things at home, how is, their sleep, how is their recovery, do they go for massages, how's their body feeling, how is their psyche feeling, so on the mental side of things, because all of these things could play a massive role in helping the athlete perform at their best. I've been very lucky over the years as a coach to have really good communication with my athletes. We always talk about these kind of things. So if training is maybe unexpectedly not going as it's planned, we will always discuss, could it be something else? And often it actually is something outside of training that is making that they are not recovering. So again, this could be anything from work stress, family stress, maybe they are cutting weight and you as the coach don't know this, so they are in a deficit and the athlete is not recovering for the amount of training that you are. Now, what I have learned as an athlete is take your deload sessions seriously. I was that athlete who just thought I never got tired, I can always go a little bit more than the percentage, until I reached the point where my body just felt so beat down and hammered, and I was getting all these little niggles and injuries and I couldn't understand why. And this is why it's so important to listen to your coach and to make sure that you do what the program says. Deload weeks are so necessary, and that recovery is actually the time when you grow, when you get better. It creates that hunger for you to come back stronger, and when your new training cycle starts, you are just to go back quickly to some of the topics about recovery. And one of the first things I mentioned was food. And obviously as a weightlifter, it's very important to get in enough calories to make sure that you have enough energy for your training session and then also your recovery. If you as the athlete don't know how much calories or food you should consume, it's always important to speak to a professional, speak to your coach about this so that they can advise you, because it's different for all athletes. It depends where you started with your body weight. It depends where you want to go with your body weight. It depends on if you're a female or male, your training age, all of those kind of things. It's all very much important to make sure that you get in the right nutrition that is good for you. With regards to sleep, now, everyone always hammers on the fact that sleep is so important, and it really is. I mean, sleep is really one of the main important points in order for you to recover, for you to grow, for you to have enough energy for the day, for your nervous system to recover. So take your sleep seriously. I'm one of those people who don't normally just fall asleep quickly. So when you are one of those people, it's very important to make sure that you turn your electronics off or put it aside an hour or 2 hours before bed. Rather do some reading. Make sure that, you go to bed at the same time every night so that you can build a routine and a habit, and then wake up also at the same time so that you don't confuse your body. Because believe it or not, our body likes habit and routine. So the more routine we can give it, the more it can function optimally. Now, with regards to massaging, going for chiropractic, taking things like your ice baths and your sauna, obviously there's a lot of research behind those things and how it can help your recovery. So I would go and do some research, but also, again, what I would always advise is speak to your coach or a professional about this, because they will be able to advise you exactly what you need for your body. So always go to your coach with anything that you think, might actually help you, so that it don't end up hindering the training, and if your coach doesn't know what you're doing outside of training, obviously it's a teamwork at the end of the day. So the coach and athlete always needs to be on par with what's going on and work together towards a common goal. Another thing that I would just recommend to you guys, again, there's a lot of research behind this, and it's something that is super important. It's something that I've believed in also my whole life as an athlete and a coach, is get in some sun daily. Obviously, if there's no sun, make sure you're getting some vitamin D, and then also enough water. Water is so important also for recovery. It's a transporter for your nutrients. So it's just so important to make sure that you are hydrated, especially if you train really hard and you lose a lot of water through your sweat in your training session. So it's just important to make sure that you put that back into your body. Again, guys, if you have any questions regarding those kind of things, your coach should be able to advise you. Go to them, trust them. At the end of the day, like I said, you guys are a team, and the only way you as an athlete are going to reach your goal is if you and your coach are on the same page with your training and your recovery. So if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell so that you can get notified when I post new videos.